Women rush to complete that childbearing task as soon as possible. In just 1 year, she married 7 incredibly handsome men. After giving birth to 7 kids, she immediately packed up and ran away. Who would have thought that the 7 abandoned beast husbands were seething with resentment? The system had no choice but to summon her back once again. She needs to appease the resentment of her beastly husband and the children. Unaware of what had happened, Namchi Sui returned to the modern era. With the system's rewards in hand, she went on a crazy shopping spree. Sanitary pads, clothes, drinks, snacks. She just placed the orders without a second thought. Until her 200 cubic meter storage space was packed to the brim. Nice. Now, she wouldn't have to worry even if the apocalypse came. So she set up a mini hot pot at home and happily started dipping lamb slices. The flow of time was different between the two worlds. 1 year in the beast world was just 1 day in the modern world. Doing the math, the cubs she gave birth to in the beast world should already be 5 years old. She wondered how they were doing. But the moment that thought crossed her mind, all the tattoos on Nessa's body suddenly lit up. She felt a familiar spatial ripple. No way, she just had 5 happy days. Now, she's time traveling again. When she opened her eyes once more, she was already sitting on a shaky tree branch. She frantically hugged the trunk and spotted a blue figure tied in knots ahead. A little snake. The beastman Nessa looked shocked and speechless. Had she returned to the beast world again? God. Those 2 years in the beast world. To complete the breeding mission, she did every terrible thing imaginable. To win over those handsome males, she used every trick in the book, deceit, fraud, you name it. After tricking them, she heartlessly abandoned them. It's obvious. Those males must despise her to the core. The system is so damn cruel. The little snake beastman stared blankly at the beautiful female before him. For 5 years. This was the first time he felt an inexplicable sense of closeness. The little snake beast was 5 years old. From the day he hatched, his father took one look at him and left. Since then, he became a parentless stray snake. Because he couldn't shapeshift. All these years, he barely survived by eating bugs. And since he was a cold-blooded snake beast, the fox cubs in the village often bullied him. This time, they even tied him into a knot and hung him on a tree branch to feed the eagles. Now, staring at the female before him, he even forgot to be afraid. Snapping back to reality, he suddenly realized something. He began writhing desperately. His mouth hissed, calling out, "The eagles are coming. Pretty sister. Run." Although Nessa couldn't understand what he was saying, she grasped his meaning through his body language. She looked up and saw 2 fierce eagles. Immediately, she pulled a small knife from her spatial storage, swiftly cutting through the vines binding the little snake, and cradled the snake beastman in her arms. Then, she slid down the tree trunk. Once on the ground, she held the little snake in one hand and flipped off the 2 eagles with the other. "You think I've been wasting these past 2 years?" The next second, she pulled off a move that left everyone stunned. Coolly, she pulled out 2 Gatling-style fireworks from her storage. "Prepare for a baptism of fire, you brats." Nessa instantly transformed into a firework-spraying warrior, wielding the fireworks like a madwoman. Too bad it was daytime, so the beauty of the fireworks couldn't be seen. The 2 eagles had never encountered such aggressive firepower before, and were so scared they pissed themselves. Flapping wildly, they turned and fled. The little snake beastman snapped out of his daze. For the first time, he got a clear look at her face. Pretty sister gave him a natural sense of familiarity, making him instinctively want to get closer to her. Hey, not bad. A blue spicy strip. Nessa smirked lazily. It reminded her of her last beast husband. Also a dark-colored spicy strip. She didn't want the snake beast manto be her last beast husband. After all, he's not hat into extreme stuff. But never expected that the snake beastman, after taking a liking to her, would relentlessly pursue her, even trapping her in a cave and not letting her leave. Yet as the system's countdown was about to end, she ultimately accepted him and laid a snake egg. Snake Yang tilted his head, looking confused. What are spicy strips? Pretty sister, thank you for saving me. Little one, I can't understand what you're saying either. But you're very cute. Over all these years, I've seen plenty of snakes. The blue of your scales is truly unique. Even prettier than the blue sky. Snake Yang's face immediately flushed with the faint red. He coiled his body around her wrist. Pretty sister, you smell so nice. I really want to stay in her arms forever. Little one, you're already so big. Yet you still can't take human form. Are you a disabled beastman? Hearing this, Snakey's tears suddenly fell. It lowered its head and shook it. Yes, he's just a little disabled one who can't transform. At this moment, Nessa's professional instincts as a vet kicked in. She pinched the little blue snake's body from head to tail. You're probably malnourished. That's why you can't transform. Just take it slow and recover properly, and you'll be fine. The little snake, having been thoroughly pinched by Nessa, turned stiff and red. After wriggling around for a while, it looked up at her with a flushed face. Sis, really? Nessa rarely understood its meaning. Of course, it's true. The little snake beastman immediately perked up. From now on, he'd eat properly. That way, he could finally transform. Suddenly, Snakey's little nose caught a whiff of blood. Turns out the pretty sister had scratched her hand while climbing a tree earlier. He quickly turned and coiled around her wrist, flicking out his tongue. He carefully cleaned her wound. So ticklish. Nessa shook her hand. Snakey was flung around, dizzy and disoriented. He hadn't eaten in a while and was hypoglycemic. Nessa thought she'd shaken him unconscious. Hey, little spicy stick, wake up. No sleeping here. Then she hurriedly pulled out a sausage from her space to feed him. Watching the little snake munch away, Nessa's face turned bright red. Someone's feeling really happy. Seeing that it was getting dark, Nessa planned to find a nearby tribe to stay for the night. But after some gesturing from the little snake, she learned the nearest village wouldn't be reached until tomorrow. So she decided to tough it out in the forest for the night. She and the little blue snake gathered firewood together. Every time the snake carried wood over, Nessa would pat its head and praise it a little, making the snake so happy it almost fainted. After stacking a pile of firewood, Nessa lit the fire with a lighter. The snake, seeing the flames, quickly hid behind a rock, too nervous to get close. Seeing this, Nessa chuckled. Such a scaredy cat, this little spicy stick. Look how frightened you are. Sissy, pretty sister, come here quick. It's dangerous over there. Nessa stopped teasing him. She set up an iron pot over the fire, then pulled out seasonings and a frozen chicken from her storage space, and started cooking chicken soup. Back at the beast market, she didn't even have seasonings. Those were truly hard times. Now, with 200 cubic meters of supplies at her disposal, she could use whatever she wanted. Meanwhile, a small white fox beast also entered the forest, seemingly searching for something anxiously. The fox, Fushu, was once the most handsome male in the village. But 5 years ago, he was taken away by a wicked female, forcing her after she gave birth to his little fox cub. They simply abandoned this father and son pair. A tainted male will no longer attract females. Thus, the most dazzling male, Faye, was gradually pushed to the fringes of the tribe. What's even more lamentable is, Faye was frail and sickly by nature, yet he still had to raise his cub alone. Exhausted from the daily toil, Faye eventually fell gravely ill. To make matters worse, the shaman's medicine ran out. Hoping his father would recover quickly, the little fox cub had no choice but to take a desperate risk, and ventured into the forest to gather herbs. But just as he found the shaman's remedy, he encountered a pack of wolves. Forced to transform into a small fox, he fled in panic. Meanwhile, Snakeface was just about to enjoy his chicken soup. Suddenly, the sound of Vira's cry for help was heard. Shayang was frantic. He hissed fiercely at Nessa. Sister Xingzi, the pretty one. Wolves can't climb trees. You should hide up in the tree first. Wuji is my friend. I have to save him. But before he knew it, Nessa scooped him up in one swift motion. Then quickly climbed up the tree. Looking down from above, under the moonlight, Nessa saw a pack of wolves chasing a very young Vera-like creature. The little white fox was injured in the leg and seemed on the verge of collapse. Seeing this, Shayang panicked, desperate to go down and save the little fox. Is that your friend? Shayang nodded anxiously. Nessa thought for a moment, then said to him, Don't worry, little snake. Here's what we'll do. Vira's leg was numb with pain. He had no strength left in his body. If he couldn't bring the herbs back, his beast father's cough and fever wouldn't get better. He was going to die. His beast father would die too. Was this really the end? He hadn't even met his mother beast yet. Just then, a familiar voice sounded in his ear. Sisi Vera. Don't give up. Come this way. In the depths of despair, this blue figure was like a ray of light, igniting hope in the young boy's heart. Vera asked no questions, just followed the little blue snake and ran. Sisi Vera. He leaped over without Vera giving it much thought. Whoosh, he jumped over in an instant. The wolves chasing closely behind, caught off guard, plunged straight into the trap Nessa had set earlier. Nessa pulled Vera into her arms, casually running a hand through the fox's fur. Wow, such a soft and pleasant texture. Just as Nessa was about to pet it a few more times, she noticed the little one, raising its beautiful eyes to look at her. What a pretty little fox. In Nessa's mind, the image of a white-furred male fox suddenly surfaced. He had introduced himself as a shaman's apprentice, his face painted with tribal markings in colored clay, making his true features hard to discern. Nessa's hand paused slightly mid-pet, her thoughts snapping back to the present. The little one must be scared. The small white fox kit looked up at her in surprise. Ji Yang immediately chimed in. Vera, this pretty sister saved you. Vera followed with the soft call of pretty sister. Nessa curled her lips into a smile. Oh, I like that title. But we can't let our guard down yet. A few wolves had fallen into the trap, but the ones behind chose to go round. Holding the two scrawny little ones, Nessa climbed up a tree without hesitation. Just as the two began to relax, they saw the wolves ramming their heads against the tree. Vera panicked, its tiny paws clutching at Nessa's sleeve. Pretty sister, the tree will fall. We're going to fall. Got stepped on by the little fox cub's tiny paw prints. So happy, Nessa felt a secret thrill in his heart. But he looked surprisingly calm. Don't panic, I'm here. Then she pulled out a big bag of dog food from her space, tore open the bag, and poured the dog food down in a flood. So fragrant. The aromatic dog food rained down on the pack of starving wild wolves. The appetite stimulant took effect. The wolves uncontrollably took a few tentative bites, soon realized the dog food tasted absolutely amazing. So the wolf pack began devouring it eagerly. Then Nessa took the two cubs down from the tree and leisurely sipped some chicken soup nearby. There was fire under the soup, so the wolves didn't dare approach. And over there's also tempting dog food. But Vera had a nervous look on his face. He was both wary of the wolf pack and afraid of the fire in front of him. Nessa scooped a spoonful. The chicken soup was handed to him in a paper bowl. You'll like this. After taking the steaming hot chicken soup, Vera only then realized belatedly that he was tired, sleepy, and a little cold. Without a word, he transformed into human form. Nessa sized up the little one's human appearance. An adorable little beast around 5 years old. Beautiful like a celestial child. If he grows up like this, who knows how many females he'll charm. Who was so blessed to give birth to such a good-looking cub? After finishing the chicken soup, Vira's eyes lit up instantly. This is so delicious. Nessa smiled with narrowed eyes. What fox doesn't love eating chicken? Shi slithered onto Vera. Vera blew on the chicken soup and fed Shi a couple of sips. Seeing this, Nessa let out an amused "Oh." Didn't expect these two little ones to get along so well. After finishing a bowl of chicken soup, Wuji felt like his whole beast self had come back to life. So he quickly asked Nessa, "Pretty sister, wolves are still wild beasts after all. Even if we feed them, there's no guarantee they won't attack beastmen. Should we run now?" To his surprise, Nessa shook her head. No rush. Then she pulled out a huge shovel from her spatial storage. Pointing at the wolf pack across, he said, "Today I'll let you see for yourselves how formidable I am. Who's the Wolf King? Step forward, I challenge you." Vera and Snake Yang, standing nearby, looked utterly shocked. "Damn sis, that's badass. She actually challenged the Wolf King." At that moment, the well-fed Wolf King strode out with powerful steps, lowering his head with a series of growls. Then, Nessa picked up a shovel and dueled the Wolf King one-on-one. She activated her Hercules ability, using only 30% of her strength, and knocked the wild Wolf King unconscious. Seeing this, the entire wolf pack was stunned. Taking 2 steps back, Vera and Snake Yang also widened their eyes. "Damn sis, is that strong?" Snake Yang especially idolizes strength, so he's totally fanboying over her now. As soon as Nessa walked over, he coiled around her arm. Vera hesitated, glancing at her embrace. He had never been held by a mother, let alone any other female. He couldn't help but crave the brief warmth he felt earlier in Nessa's arms. Yet, he felt too shy to ask for a hug, since they weren't really close. Before long, the Wolf King woke up, dazed for a moment, then walked up to Nessa and bowed in submission. Seeing this, the rest of the gray wolves followed suit. Nessa patted the Wolf King's head like an old buddy. "From now on, you're me little wolf sidekick. I may have beaten you, but I don't want your position as the Wolf King. Your little followers are still under your command." Then she took out 5 bags of dog food from her storage. "Consider this a welcome gift from me, your big brother. Dog food can be stored for a long time. Find a place to hide them. Only open them when you're starving later. This is emergency rations. Got it?" The Wolf King seemed to understand, and nodded in a human-like way. "Deal done." Nessa whistled. "This will be the sound I use to call you from now on. Hear me clearly?" The Wolf King howled. "Oh." Nessa patted its wolf head. "Good dog." The pack of wolves twitched their ears. They don't understand what "good dog" means, but it feels like a compliment. Then a few little wolves carried the large bags of dog food, under the reluctant lead of the Wolf King. He left, turning back every few steps. Just then, Vera suddenly panicked. My medicine is gone." "Vera, don't worry," Sissy said. "It's here." "Here." The little snake coiled its tail round a herb and slid it toward Vera. Vera hurriedly cradled the herb in his arms, treasuring it. He had almost lost the precious plant. Nessa glanced at Vera and the herb in his hands. Just common Isidus root. Probably someone at home had a cold. "Pretty sister, thank you for saving me. I should go back now." "Wait." Nessa ruffled Vira's little head. "You're just a kid, crossing the forest in the middle of the night. You're out of your mind. If you want to leave, wait until daybreak." Vira's eyes turned red. "I have to go back. My beast father will worry about my well-being." She pinched her tattered beast skin skirt, looking at the adorable little immortal boy's reddened eyes. Nessa's heart suddenly softened. She crouched down and picked up the little one. "Don't worry, Lil Fox. I never said you couldn't go home." Vira's heart skipped a beat. He never knew a female's embrace could be so warm. He wished time could freeze in this moment. "Let me take you home." With that, Nessa whistled. The bushes ahead rustled with movement. The Wolf King returned with 2 young wolves in tow. The Wolf King lay on the ground. Nessa held the 2 cubs and climbed onto the wolf's back. Vera and Shayang were still a bit dizzy. Just like that, they were riding the wild wolf that had wanted to eat them moments ago. It felt just like a dream. Vera, you lead the way. I'll take you home. Vera pointed the way, while clinging to Nessa with longing. At the same time, many beastmen gathered in Faye's cave. At the front stood Foxheart's daughter, Foxy. Foxy had once pursued Faye relentlessly, but he ended up with an outsider female and had a child with her. Later, that outsider female even sold Faye for just 3 animal hides. At this very moment, Faye struggled to sit up with his frail body. What are you all doing at my place in the middle of the night? Faye, you're practically on death's door. Where's that female master of yours? Regretting choosing the wrong female now, aren't you? Even in death, you're all alone. If you'd chosen me back then, things would never have turned out like this. Faye's face was pale. He leaned against the stone wall. Weakly, he let out a breathy voice. I was the one who pursued her. She didn't want me. Hearing this, Huzi frowned deeply. Are you out of your mind? Even now, you're still hung up on that wild female? She abandoned you after toying with you. What's so great about her anyway? Faye's eyelids drooped. He spoke slowly, but earnestly. I love her. I've never met a female like her before. Where she came from or where she's going, I don't know. I just remembered that I love her. I've never regretted being with her. Just leave. I won't sever the mate bond on me. Huyia's heart ached for her brother's condition. She pleaded with Faye. Why must you suffer like this? If you just agree to Huzi's terms, she'll find a way to get the herbs to heal you. A male beastkin without a clan has a hard life. Faye coughed weakly a few times. It seemed he barely had the strength to speak. Don't waste your breath. Leave, for the sake of our sibling bond. After I die, can you help raise little Vera for me? At this moment, little Vera ran out from the crowd. Daddy, I'm back with the herbs. You don't have to die anymore. Faye, who had been struggling, suddenly felt his mind go blank. It was his own incompetence. He had let his barely 5-year-old child go up the mountain to gather herbs for him in the dead of night. What if something dangerous had happened? What would he have done then? Tears streamed down Vira's face. He forced a smile. He handed the banlangan to Faye. Daddy, we're not afraid. We have medicine. Faye smiled gently. He patted Vira's head. Then he placed the unprocessed banlangan into his mouth, chewed it, and swallowed. Does it work? Vera asked hopefully. It works. Thank you, Aki. Outside the cave, Nessa heard little Vira's soft sobbing. She hurried inside. What she didn't expect was that they were living in such poor conditions inside a cave. How could his father and mother raise a child like this? She stepped forward and gently placed a hand on the little one's shoulder. When Vera saw it was Nessa, instinctively, he threw himself into her arms. Pretty sister. I'm about to lose my beast, Daddy. After saying this, the little cub burst into uncontrollable wails. Nessa looked toward the stone bed where the snow fox lay quietly. The male's slender frame was gaunt from prolonged starvation. Yet even so, it couldn't conceal his striking beauty. What a handsome male. He's sick. Nessa quickly took out a stethoscope from her space. She pressed one end against his chest. It's severe pneumonia. He needs an 4 drip. Aki, go find a long branch. Vera wiped his tears, then turned to go look for a branch. Meanwhile, Nessa retrieved all the medical supplies needed for the 4 from her space. Once Vera brought back a large branch, Nessa set up the 4 drip for him. Little Vera and the small snake had never seen anything like this before. They watched as Nessa leaned down and used her hand to gently pat Faye's head. Little Vera blushed belatedly. Pretty sister. My father may be good looking, but he already has a mate. so you can't harass my father. Nessa froze for a moment, then turned and flicked the little one's forehead. What are you thinking at your age? I'm treating him, understand? Though the little one was pretty. Throughout his life, only his beast father had shown him selfless kindness. Other beastmen had rarely been kind to him. Yet this female before him not only saved him, but sometimes scolded him, or flicked his forehead, and spoke to him in a not-so-gentle tone. But strangely, was precisely this feeling that made him feel especially warm and secure. Little Fox's small face flushed slightly with anger. He glanced at Nessa, then looked at his unconscious father lying on the bed. Strangely, he felt the female before him and his father seemed well matched. After 3 drips were finished, Faye's fear finally subsided. His pale fingers trembled slightly as they twitched. It seemed the medicine was taking effect. Nessa murmured softly. Hearing this, Faye's eyes shifted slightly. Such a familiar voice. He slowly opened his eyes. Through his blurred vision, a beautiful figure gradually came into focus. Wasn't that the very person he had longed for day and night? Though the man had finally seen the female he yearned for, he couldn't feel the slightest bit of joy. Instead, he even wanted to find a mask to cover his face. Aki, is there anything I can use to hide my face? Vera was utterly puzzled by Faye's odd behavior. Daddy, why are you covering your face? Having lived with his beast father for 5 years, this was the first time he'd seen him try to hide his face. Faye suddenly let out a long sigh. She shouldn't have seen me like this. Just then, a shadow fell across the cave entrance. Faye looked up. There stood the female he had longed for day and night, as if glowing under the moonlight. The 4 is almost done. Nessa walked up to Faye, holding his hand gently, while carefully removing the needle, then pressed a cotton ball with tape over the spot. Just hold it for a few minutes. Faye suddenly yanked his hand away. He froze for a moment, then frantically pressed down hard. You're pressing so hard. Aren't you afraid it'll bruise? Nessa shot him a sidelong glance. She suddenly noticed a faint flush of embarrassment flash across Faye's pale face. By the way, does your tribe have any priest apprentices who can dance? He's a white fox beastman like you. At this, Faye clenched his fist, then shook his head. Never heard of him. Meanwhile, Huzi had just woken up, only to see her mother, Hushin, sitting by the bed, questioning her about last night. Mother, I don't understand. Why are you so insistent on me pairing with Faye? I'm the prettiest female in Stone Village. I could have any male I want. Besides, he's been abandoned by a female before. He was almost a beast. Slave. What would I want with a beast slave? Hearing this, Hushin flew into a rage. You're utterly hopeless. All these years, I've been paving the way for you. I've suppressed their father and son at every turn. Turned a blind eye to his struggles. Do you really think it's just about looks? He's the only male in Stone Village with ancient bloodline. In the beast world, only beastmen who awaken their bloodline can cultivate. Awakened beastmen bear beast marks on their faces. 1-3 marks make a beast warrior. 4-6 marks make a beast general. And beastmen bloodlines are usually divided into 3 types: common, high grade, and ancient bloodline. And the white fox. Yet it was the only ancient bloodline inherent beast in Stone Village. The higher the rank of Fox Clan's bloodline, the more it looks like, the more handsome it becomes. Huzi's jaw dropped. I understand. Mother wants the ancient bloodline of the white fox. But he ended up mating and having children with an outsider female. So, Mom, you had no choice but to take action. Put him at the lowest point in his life. This way, and take advantage of the situation. Looks like you're not hopelessly stupid after all. Fox Heart stroked the animal hide beside him and said, It's more than that. Do you know? That female from Fayenever even sold him out. Not only has it never been sold before, She even went out of her way to ensure that Faye and his son could live comfortably. It also came with a lot of freebies. Entrust me with taking care of Faye. Upon hearing this, Fox ziffled as if struck by lightning. It turns out Aleph this was fake. It's all because Mother wanted to put Faye in his place. A lie fabricated to make him give up foreign women. Oh my god, this is so terrible. Fox's heart glared at her stupid daughter in annoyance. Everything I did was all for the sake of the village. And for our family as well. Nessa found out. There is no such white fox male descendant here. He let out a quiet sigh. If it's my own fox beast husband. Also in this village, she wants to go see them. Make sure they're doing alright. She is indeed a heartless bitch who abandoned her husband and child. But that doesn't mean you have to mystery at your beast husband and cubs. Back then, she saw it with her own eyes. The village chief arranged the best cave for them. And they even left most of the supplies for them. Unfortunately, there was no handsome white fox beast father for her in this village. Faye took in every single one of his expressions. He laughed at himself self-deprecatingly. What is she thinking about? Want to confirm I've been sold off? Faye likes her. The time spent with her was only a few dozen days, short as it was. But it was the brightest time of his life. But since she doesn't like me, he has already been sold off and abandoned. Why bother coming back to look for him? Faye recalled those days they spent together. Because of their own bloodline. After reaching Gadalthode, Faye must wear the family's priestly robes within 3 months. Dancing the priest dance. During that time, Heckle didn't take off his makeup. Also doesn't have a name of his own. Only the title of priest that belongs to oneself. It wasn't until the second day after he returned to the village. He finally became his true self. He couldn't wait. I want Nesato see my face. And told him his own name. But when he woke up, she's already gone. And sold him off for 3 animal hides. It's being sold for such a cheap price. In that case, why would he even bother telling her who he is? Thinking of this, Faye couldn't help but let out another self-deprecating laugh. Watching her figure disappear as she turned to leave. His heart was slightly tangled. Is she leaving again? Abandoning them, father and son, once again. The cave entrance. Nessa was about to leave with the snake in tow. Upon learning that the wolf King Sunderling's mate is about to give birth, she decided to go visit. Vera looked up at her with great reluctance. Are you still coming back? I'll be back. The beast of a father also needs Tobe on and 4 drip for 5 days straight. I'm not leaving for these 5 days. Vera finally relaxed and let out a sigh of relief. Okay, beautiful sister. Come back early. A7 has prepared some delicious food for you. Nessa curled his lips into a smile. Then he left Stone Village with Little Snake in tow. Vera and Nessa were catting outside the cave. Faye listened to every single word without missing a beat. Sicko dad, your illness still isn't better. How come you're out? Faye looked at Vera and asked. Are you going to the village to get the meat? Faye, as an adult male in the village, not supported by the village, but the fox spirit was the village's own little one. From time to time, we receive meat distributed by the village, so the little fox cub can survive smoothly. The fox spirit nodded in agreement. There was a hint of affected smile on his face. Dad, wait for me to bring the meat back. We'll have meat to eat. Faye looked in the direction where Nessa had left. She likes to eat cooked food. Little Fox 7 was stunned. Does the beast of a father know the pretty sister? How do you know she likes to eat cooked food? When we arrived at the food distribution point, a few male fox clansmen glanced at Vera with disdainful aggression. Then they threw the unwanted beast bones and entrails at him. After receiving these things, Fook K. good mood instantly hit rock bottom. Uncle, did you give him the wrong thing? I usually get the good stuff. That male fox couldn't bother to look at him. Go, go, go. Last night, Fox Z swallowed his pride and tried to coax your beastly father. Your beast of a father is just fine. His mistress sold him off to be a beast slave. What kind of act is still putting on? What a discrochetto us male foxes. Has your beast of a father kicked the bucket yet? If you die, you'll elget the good meat. Viraki's face turned red with anger. Your dad's the beast that died. What the hell is this little brat talking about? Looking for a beating, huh? The fox beastman's face turned red. Two beast-like lines separated on his forehead. It turned out to be a two-striped beast warrior. He swung his fist at the Vera. He was about to hit the fox right on its head. However, at that very moment, a pale hand steadily caught the fist. The fox beastman turned to look. It is a weak yet extremely handsome male. His other hand was still clutching firewood he had just picked up. Even though his face was deathly pale, but firmly suppressed the opponent's attack. The fox white beastman clenched his fist. I realized I couldn't move at all. The fox beastman was secretly locked by Faye's strength. But for the sake of saving face, still let go of the fist. You came just in time. Food for your kid. He actually refused. You better give him a good talking to. Faye coldly swept this gaze over the crowd, whispering an apology to Vera. Otherwise, I'll cut off one of your arms. Upon hearing this, the strange patterned beast warrior beside him suddenly burst into laughter. Faye, what kind of nonsense are you talking? We have 5 beast warriors with unique markings here. With a 2-mark beast warrior, you still dare to doit right in front of us. Didn't you break whose arm or something? Faye suppressed a cough, but even though he didn't look too well, the chill in his eyes sent a shiver down Vuko's spine. Shut the hell up, all of you. Vuko suddenly shouted. Right after that, he immediately apologized to Vera, saying sorry. Fox 5, what nonsense are you talking about? Those fox beast warriors sensed something was off. Kihu did not respond. Their voices were too soft, couldn't hear clearly. Fox White whispered softly, I'm sorry. Vuko suddenly knelt down and kowtowed. Captain, what the hell is wrong with you? Faye is so weak. What are you afraid of him for? Shut the hell up. Vuko immediately handed him a large piece of good meat from the side. Lord Faye. Vera-sama. Please take this good piece of meat, Faye said, with a sigh. No need, this is enough. She likes to eat these. After the fox white father and son left, those beast warriors immediately surrounded Fox 5. What the hell is going on with the captain? Did he threaten you? Vuko recalled the mountain-like pressure that Faye had just exerted, not to mention just an arm. Even his life could be taken away effortlessly. He gritted his teeth and finally said sullenly that Faye is no ordinary fox. Don't mess with him ever again. Fox Z insisted on forming a partnership with him. I'm afraid it's not just because of looks. Stay alert, all of you. Don't end up being Eucetus someone else's pawn. On this side, Nessa had just finished helping the mother wolf give birth. She swiftly disinfected she wolf's wound. Then I fed Tanti inflammatory medicine again. Afterwards, she began observing 6 little ones. 5 of the little ones are strong and sturdy. It's easy to find a meal ticket. But the weakest, old 6, just isn't cutting it. The mother wolf's limited supply of milk, all of it was snatched away by her 5 older brothers. Seeing this, Nessa took out goat milk powder from the space. Start making goat milk powder to supplement its milk intake. After everything was done, he was ready to return to Stone Village. On the road, Nessa suddenly remembered. Fox said he would treat her to a meal. Since you're going to someone else's home as a guest, going empty-handed is definitely not good. So she picked some tea tree mushrooms along the way. Then pack it up and put it in the bag. But the little snake-like creature in the side couldn't understand. Can this thing even be eaten? But I've seen it before. The beastman did after eating it. Looking at little snake's doubtful gaze, Nessa smiled. Don't worry, this is not only edible. It's especially delicious. After drying it out, store it as dried goods for later use. You can add a little to roasted pork, chicken, and the like in the future. After saying that, she found a few fresh bird eggs again. Great. Here you go, something extra for you, and that sickly one. When they returned to the cave off the Vera family's home, Nessa noticed a campfire at the entrance of the cave. A rich and flavorful bone broth was simmering gently in the stone pot. Nessa walked up in pleasant surprise. So fragrant, such fox vibes. Did you do it? This is something I did with that beast of a father. My beast of a father said. The female body is delicate. If you don't cook it over fire for a while, they eat something that cold easily make them sick. After saying this, Vira muttered to himself again. But I'm in Stone Village. I don't see any other females preparing food like this. Maybe other villages made of fire. So impressive. In the beast world, I rarely encounter deadbeant who used fire to cook food. Your lucky beastess, so thoughtful. Your mother must be very happy. The Vera fell silent. He was a bit hesitant about whether to tell the pretty older sister about his mom. Nessa used a wooden spoon, tried the taste of bone broth. I just realized salt has already been added. Vera also explained with a laugh. The beastly father said females need to eat salt. Nessa narrowed her pitch black, pearl-like eyes. Authentic wild-style bone broth. Just adding a bit of salt made it incredibly delicious. Let all her wariness fade away at this moment. Every pore is cheering with comfort. At this moment, Faye returned with cleaned beast innards. He saw Nessa. His expression suddenly turned cold. The fox spirit can't figure it out. The beast of a father's mood is all over the place today. Beastly dad, don't give him the cold shoulder. The pretty lady saved us. Can you smile for me? Faye didn't say a word, just lowering her head and gazing tenderly at her little one. Nessa noticed the change in this male's expression. The aloof white fox beastman actually has two sides to him. The soup is heated up. Faye stir-fried all the beast's offal with salt. When seeing Nessa take out the tea tree mushrooms, Faye knew exactly what to do with just one glance. He cracked the bird eggs and stir-fried them with tea tree mushrooms. In the end, I just added a bit of salt before taking it out of the pan. The two little ones are absolutely over the moon with happiness. It's been a long time since Steve had such a lavish dinner. After eating, Joachim transformed, became a fluffy, snow-white fox. Little Snake and Hugh were tangled up together, snuggling up warmly to sleep. Nessa waited until the little ones had eaten their fill. He then slowly began to eat the remaining dishes. Suddenly, there was an extra stone bowl of soup in front of me. Nessa looked up and saw that it was Faye giving it to her. Thanks, why aren't you eating? I can't eat that much. Nessa paused slightly. It seems the weak can't handle strong remedies, can't eat that much food. But even if he couldn't eat another bite, he's been busy all day too. I've prepared so many things to entertain her. You're really good at making food like this. Your bitch mom too. Do you eat grilled food? She must be very happy. Faye paused slightly. He put down the soup in his hand. Are you happy then? Nessa froze in shock. His eyes gradually dimmed. He's a homebody. Her parents and younger brother are always on her mind. She doesn't understand. What is the point of the system sending her to the beast world? After noticing her expression, Faye also froze slightly. So she wasn't actuality after all. Nessa actually saw it in Faye's eyes, caught a hint of heartache. But he quickly reverted back to that cold and distant demeanor. Is it just my imagination? After eating, Faye took the stone bowl to the river to wash it. Nessa carried the two little ones back to the cave to settle them down for sleep. When Faye came back, she was pondering beside the big tree outside the cave. Stone Village didn't have the fairy power to make females sleep outside. Sleeping inside the cave, you can rest assured. I have a mistress. The male won't do anything to you. What about you? Nessa asked in confusion. I'm outside the cave. I'm a fox beastman. covered in thick, soft fur. Not afraid of the cold. This sentence made Nessa laugh in exasperation. You're already sick, yet you're still putting a not tough act saying you're not afraid of the cold. I'm the customer. How could they dare to steal the master's cave? There's no room for negotiation. Faye's expression instantly turned cold. No, the female must sleep in the cave. You're so fierce, Nessa complained with a grievance. No free lunch. For a moment, I was actually a bit flustered. Nessa discovered. The male before me seems to have a very complicated inner world. Sure enough, males are creatures simply can't comprehend. Seeing him like this, Nessa compromised. All right. I live in a cave. Faye took a deep breath. It seems like I can finally relax. He returned to the cave, spread the last piece of animal hide for Nessa. But because they could not provide a complete fur blanket, and slightly furrowed her brow. These years, he stayed at home. Leave a few more animal hides. At least then, when she comes, she won't have none to use. These conditions are already very good. Look how big this hide is. Just loosely rolling it like this covers me up to my navel. For Earth humans, as long as it covers the navel, it's fine. She fully accepted Faye's kindness, just as she had said. Nessa covered her navel with the hide and slept like that. Meanwhile, Faye transformed into his fox beastman true form. He coiled up at the cave entrance, blocking the cold night wind for her. The next morning, Nessa woke up to see Faye entering with a basin of clean water. This is for me to wash up? Faye still replied succinctly, seems unwilling to waste more words on her. Nessa was a bit surprised. Faye seemed to know her habits very well. Not only would he cook food with fire, but he would also bring her a basin of water for washing in the morning. Being a guest at your place, I've really troubled you these days. Faye's expression darkened again. He put down the basin and turned to leave the cave. He's angry again. What kind of person is this? After washing her face, Nessa had him sit leaning against the stone bed. Then she took out the medicine and tools she had prepared earlier. Due to the lesson from the previous day, Nessa restrained herself much more this time. She used a thermometer gun to check his temperature. He still had a slight fever. It seemed the fever reducer would still be needed. Just as Nessa began preparing the fur drip, Faye suddenly spoke up and asked, "Do I not need to have that thing placed on my chest today?" "What thing?" Nessa asked belatedly, after finishing his sentence. "You mean the stethoscope? Weren't you unhappy when I used it on you yesterday? So I skipped that step this time." "So it's not needed?" Faye asked softly. "That's not it. Listening helps me better monitor your physical condition." Faye looked up and asked her, "Then why aren't you listening?" Faye's face was full of curiosity, leaving Nessa stunned. As a veterinarian, she normally wouldn't care about such things. But the male in front of her was a widower. Gossip thrives at the government's doorstep. The slightest misstep could invite unwanted rumors. So Nessa gritted his teeth and said, "You don't have to listen if you don't want to." Ha heard this. Faye's beautiful brows furrowed just like that. It made it seem like Nessa had bullied him. "Then why did you listen yesterday?" Nessa helplessly rubbed his forehead. "Yesterday was yesterday. Today is today." Faye was just about to stand up and demand an explanation. But Nessa directly pushed him back down. "Don't move around. After the injection, I still have to go out. Anyway, I'm not doing consultations today." Faye could only lean back against the headboard, letting Nessa give him the injection. "Alright, don't move the hand with the needle." After saying this, Nessa packed up and left. But she hadn't been out of the cave for long, when the sickly male inside just walked out carrying the 4 bag. "Nessa, you coming back today?" Nessa abruptly turned around, seeing the height at which Faye was holding the 4 bag was lower than his injected hand, causing blood to flow back into the tube. He stared at her fixedly, his icy gaze carrying a hint of resentment, as if she had wronged him and abandoned him. "Oh, for heaven's sake, Nessa hurriedly pushed Faye back into the cave. After rehanding the 4 bag, she sighed and said, "I'll wait until you finish the drip before leaving. I have some things to take care of outside. And I can't guarantee if I'll visit your place again." Faye's expression instantly darkened. Nessa could tell at a glance that he was angry again. This male seems to sulk whenever he's angry. He neither vents nor speaks. Who knows where he gets all that anger from? Getting angry often isn't good for your health, she reminded him softly. Faye turned his head away, refusing to look at her, acting just like a resentful little wife. "Where's your female master? Why aren't you and a key with her? She doesn't want us anymore. We've been abandoned." "Why?" Nessa was stunned. Such a handsome husband and a fairy-like little child. And she just tossed them aside? "Have you considered taking a key to find her?" Faye raised his head, delivering a devastating beauty strike. His snow-white, clear eyes locked onto Nessa's pitch-black pupils. He spoke slowly. "She was the one who abandoned me first. Why should I be the one to go to her?" Nessa felt a little scared, so he scurried away like a coward. Damn. Anyone who didn't know better would think she was the one who abandoned them. Nessa, as usual, took on his little snake form and went to the Wolf King's cave. He continued disinfecting the she-wolf's wounds and feeding her anti-inflammatory medicine. Then he nursed little Lao Liu. Meanwhile, outside the most remote and lowest-lying cave in Stone Village, 2 figures, one big and one small, stood like stones waiting for their wife, gazing longingly into the distance. "Dad, it's going to rain. Do you think pretty sister will come back?" Vera looked up, his big eyes blinking at Faye. He doesn't quite understand his beastly father. When the pretty sister was around, the beastly father was cold towards her. Yet he would take the initiative to prepare food for the pretty sister. When a light rain began to fall from the sky, he would anxiously peer out from the cave entrance. Does he actually dislike the pretty sister or not? Faye's eyes also revealed a trace of worry. The light rainy season had arrived. How could a female go alone into the dangerous forest? "Beastly father, let's go find the pretty sister together." Faye had just taken a step forward, but immediately pulled his foot back. Vera happened to see in the distance Nessa walking slowly toward them. "Pretty sister. Beastly father, and I have been waiting for you for so long." Vera turned to look at the beastly father by the cave entrance, but he was nowhere to be seen. "Where's that beast of a father? He was just here a moment ago." "It's raining outside. I'm here to bother you at your place again." The forest on a rainy day is dark, damp, and even more dangerous, Nessa felt. It's safer to find a village to spend the night. So then, they went back. "It's good that you're back, so good. We warmly welcome you, beautiful sister. Stay as long as you like. Both Beast Father and I really like you." But who knew, as soon as they entered the cave, they heard a voice from the main house. That didn't sound very welcoming. "Didn't you say you weren't coming back tonight? What are you back for?" The sharp tone left Nessa frozen in awkward silence. Vera, confused, glanced at himself, then at Beast Father, then at Nessa. Before beautiful sister came back, Beast Father was clearly very worried about her. So why, the moment she returned, did he turn cold again? "Dad, what are you doing? Beautiful sister finally came all this way. Can't you at least be a little nicer? If you keep acting like this, you won't be my good daddy anymore." Faye turned away speechlessly. What a filial son indeed. She clearly never took care of you for a single day. Yet you side with her and defy me. Nessa also didn't want to cause a quarrel between father and son because of herself. She awkwardly apologized. "I'm sorry. I disturbed you. If it's inconvenient for you, I'll go ask around the village. See if there's an empty cave to lend me for the night." "No." Faye suddenly turned around, his expression slightly cold. "If you leave now, Vera might burst into tears right in front of me." "What does this mean? Not letting her go?" Nessa awkwardly halted her steps. Now, ing wasn't an option. But staying wasn't either. Faye isn't here to get in her way. He left the simple stove fire and walked into the cave. After Faye left, Vera felt the air become easier to breathe. He quickly pulled Nessa to sit by the firewood stove. Pretty sister. Everything's still warm. Eat quickly. As Nessa ate, she pondered. Little Aki, have I somehow offended your father? Logically, she saved his cub. And is still treating his illness. Saving his life. He shouldn't be this cold toward her. Where does his hostility toward her come from? Vera shook his head. Pretty sister is kind and beautiful. How could she have offended me? Father, please don't overthink it. My father is cold toward all females. It's not just you. So it's just misogyny. This is a sickness of the heart. She can't cure it. Nessa was halfway through his meal. A young fox beastman suddenly appeared at the cave entrance. Then he flashed a fake smile at Faye. Faye, look. The little rainy season has arrived. My mistress is short a beast hide for a mattress. Do you think you could lend us that hide of yours? No choice. Families without females are always easy to oppress and bully. Your mistress has 9 beast talismans. Surely she can spare one hide for a mattress? Faye's tone was flat. But the faint disdain in his words was unmistakable. The young fox beastman suppressed his temper and smiled. We've gathered some. But it's still not enough. My mistress finds them not warm enough. You have no use for hides anyway. Your family has no females. Why do you assume my family has no females? The whole village knows. You were sold by your mistress for 3 hides. How could you possibly have a female? Nessa was surprised. No wonder Vira's family was so small. So he was sold? Then he patted Vira's little head sympathetically. You've had it rough. If your mother knew how hard your life was, she'd surely regret it. Vera forced a faint smile. A bold idea suddenly popped into his head. Pretty sister. Would you be willing to be my mother? I've heard that even though beasts are male, cannot voluntarily terminate the contract. But there's a secret method to break it. My beast father is decent looking. Aside from being a bit weak physically, a bit short-tempered, a bit cold with his words, the fox spirit grew more guilty the more he spoke. But we're offering a buy one get one deal. If you get my beast father, you'll also get little Aki as your cub. Watching little Aki push the beast so hard, Nessa couldn't help but chuckle. Thanks, little Aki. Though I do like you a lot. But adult matters aren't that simple. At the cave entrance, Faye was still arguing with that young raccoon beast. But it was clear. Faye had run out of patience. If you want good pelts, go hunt. Don't expect me to lend you any. The young fox beast dropped the act. Faye, you're a male who was sold as a beast slave for 3 pelts. What gives you the right to act tough? The fox spirit was furious and frantic. He broke free from Nessa and rushed out. Who told you to bully my beast father here? You're just picking on us because we don't have a female head. When I grow up, I'll make you pay. Such a little cub daring to snarl at me? The young fox beastman's beast marks flared on his face. Turns out he was a 2 mark. Fox beastman, you got a death wish? If you dare hit me, the village rules will punish you. The male fox beast scoffed mockingly. Yo, trying to use village rules to pressure me, huh? Faye, is this how you teach your kid? Faye pulls Vera behind him. His gaze turns slightly cold. The furs are definitely not going to you. Just leave, Faye. You're so stingy. Your family doesn't even have a female. What do you need so much stuff for? Let's see what good things your family has. As he spoke, the young fox beast tried to barge into Faye's home. Don't even think about stealing from us. You're such a bad beastman. Seeing the male about to force his way in, Vera bit down on his arm without hesitation. The young fox beast yelped in pain. He couldn't hold back anymore. Little brat, You brought this on yourself. He suddenly swung his arm. Just as his fist was about to come crashing down, Faye's expression turned solemn. A faint killing intent instantly filled the air.